Hey, this is Russ. We are headed to the Prospect Heights Trail once again, but I did this trail yesterday and got a lot of mileage out of it. But anyways, let's continue on and I'll talk more about it. All right, we're back on the road. So I did that introduction with the cell phone because I know that I can't use the cell phone to record me while I'm riding, because I'm using the bike app again called the Bike Map. So Bike Map kind of requires me to look at the map in order for me to see where I'm headed. So again, Bike Map allows me to go on side streets rather than taking major roads that are heavily traveled. Now I did this trail yesterday and I did it all on pedal assist level 1 plus some throttling to get over hills. And I asked the question on the Rad Power Bikes owners community, they've changed the name, and I asked them, how many of you guys use pedal assist 1? And what kind of range are you going for? That type of thing. And it seemed like a lot of them were saying when they were on pedal assist level 1 and barely using the throttle, some of these guys were getting 30, 40 miles out of their battery. Now yesterday, I did it, but of course I used the throttle, go over hills and the like, and I got 25 miles there and back and riding around over there a little bit. And I still had 2.5 bars. Now we don't have half bars. I call half bars when it shows 3 bars on the battery level. There's 3 out of 5, but when you throttle, it drops to 2. So I'm thinking it's kind of like 2.5 bars. Okay. Now one thing I've never done before was when I'm going up hills, I usually use the throttle to help me along. But people were saying they jump back and forth on their pedal assist numbers. So they go between 1 to 2 to 3, back down to 1. And I'm beginning to know why they do that. Because right now, I was on 1, but I was going up a hill, I moved it to 2. Pedal assist level 1, typically I will get a wattage of about 35 to 71 watts of usage. If I throttle up just to get myself over a hill, it could push that thing between 300 something to even 700 watts of power to get there. So what they're doing is to eliminate that high usage. They're just jumping back and forth between their pedal assists. So level 1 gives you 35 to 71. Level 2 right now I'm on to get over a hill. I'm at 142. 142 watts is a lot less than 300 something, 400 something watts. So it's actually a savings of power if you jump back and forth with the pedal assist. Now I've never done it this way before, but I'm going to try to do that as much as I can today. Now by the time I got home, after about 25 miles of ride, I still had about 2.5 bars out of 5 for my battery. Now today is, well, I was going to say a rainy day. It's not raining, but you can see on the roads that they're kind of wet. It's because it rained all night, and we do have slight little drizzlings happening. I still wanted to go out because I wanted to test this theory. So every now and then I do feel a little bit of rain hitting me, but it's very minute. I looked at the forecast yesterday and it showed that there was rain, but today it doesn't show any rain. Just spot rain, I guess. Every now and then, a little bit of drizzle. So my goal today is to run this battery down as far as it'll go to find out what my maximum range would be if I do this back and forth business with pedal assist 1 and 2 and 3. All right, so I might be out here for a while. I'm sure I won't be keeping you guys the entire time, but we'll take you down to the trail. We'll probably do the trail and stop as we usually do. But my intention is do it, get back, and then keep going until the battery drains down to blinking 1. Now, many times I've taken this trail, come back home, and you're talking 24, 25 miles, and I'm blinking on number 1, which means you're about ready to die with battery power. But this last time, 3 bars, 2 bars when I'm throttling, so I call it 2.5, so it's pretty good. I think I could have probably done maybe 30 miles. Now, I usually will throttle when I cross intersections, and the reason is because I need to get past that intersection as fast as I can. Because really the most dangerous thing you could be on is an intersection. So you don't want to linger on an intersection. I may still throttle just the intersections, if it's a major road especially. I'm just going to move back and forth between this pedal assist. Now, the thing with the pedal assist on 1, I'm averaging 11 miles to 12 miles, and that's about it. We're not getting a whole lot of, that's miles per hour, by the way. We're not getting a whole lot of speed. So if you're really not interested in speed, you're just can't even talk. If you're just interested in range, then this might be the way to go. Now, as far as my gears are concerned, I'm sitting right now on gear number 5 out of 7, and I have dropped down to gear number 4 when needed. So lowering your gears makes it easier, of course, to pedal, but you don't get a whole lot of power when you're doing it. So this is a nice leisurely ride again. So I don't know what the time is, roughly around 9 o'clock, something like that. Today is Tuesday. I don't know when you guys will get to see this. The thing is when I record these things, I usually have quite a few recorded because I do a lot of bike riding, and I record almost every bike ride I do. So by the time you guys see this, it could be a while. Alright, this area is pretty muddy. We're going to be go through this a little bit carefully. Gravel on the road, slide out from it. You gotta be careful. Yeah, so there's a lot of turning here, and then if I did the more direct path, we'd be there faster, but you're also riding with heavy traffic, so we don't want to do that. Now, yesterday I did record some, but I don't think I'm going to show it to you. I tried something a little bit different. I took the camera, instead of going to a forward-facing camera, I angled it to the right and just ran it the entire time. Now, the thing with that is you get to see the houses and things that are on the sides, but you don't know where we're headed. So that wasn't too good. Then I moved it to the left and had a little bit more success on the left side because I had a little bit of the forward facing along with the left side. But ultimately, it kind of felt like we were riding sideways. Felt a little funny, so I don't think I'll show you that video. So I decided today I'm just going to redo it. We'll just do our standard forward facing, and we'll try out the slower pace and just use the pedal assist. Okay, now as we approach this Palatine Road, which is a major road, I will usually use throttle to get up over it, just to get out of that intersection faster. All right, so we have cars to the next to us, but nobody behind us currently. Now, if I were to just to pedal this, it would take me forever to cross. So I will throttle up and pedal at the same time, and that gets us past it faster. Then I let go of the throttle, and now we just pedal. Now I am currently on pedal assist number 2, but I will eventually drop back down to 1. Now I could have done this entire thing on 1 just to find out what my maximum range is, but I don't think that's realistic, because if you're just trying to find out your maximum range, the day that you decide not to do it that way, your range drops and you're expecting you're gonna have more range, and then next thing you know, you go out there and you've run out of range. And then you think you're gonna get home and you can't make it home. So you have to kind of ride it realistically, which would be jumping back and forth between 1, 2, and 3. Now I know you guys can't see it, but I do give hand signals as I turn, especially when there's lots of cars around. If there's no cars around me, I don't do it. Obviously I can see left and right better than someone inside a car can see. So if I don't see anybody around, I don't bother with the hand signals. Same thing with stop signs, of course. You know, I usually blow off the stop signs because it's hard to stop it, jump off, get back on, start up again. But if there's cars around, I will fully stop, or at least partially stop, until I get full confirmation from the driver that he acknowledges that I'm there, and many of them will just wave you on. So even though it's not your turn to go, they'll just let you go because they don't want to take that chance either. I mean, the worst thing for them is for them to hit a bike rider, so they don't really want to do that either. But again, there's drivers you just don't trust, right? But if you get a actual acknowledgement, like a head nod or somebody waving you over, then I think you're doing okay. So right now on pedal assist level 1, I'm jumping between 35 and 71 watts. So that's a very minimal amount of wattage use. This should give me quite a bit of range. Now, what I did last time, and the one I didn't show you, because these things go for a while, I put the timer on my phone, so it'll ring after 15 minutes, telling me to switch the camera, turn it off, and turn it back on, because we have a limitation of 16 minutes, as you know, before the camera shuts itself down. And I split the video into 2, which I think I will do again today. Part 1 is getting us there. Part 2 will be the trail. And if you want, we could even do a part 3, riding around the area, whatever, we'll see. But we'll be at least 1 and 2. I've learned that every time I promise to do something, I don't follow up with it because things have changed due to situations, etc. Now we're going up a hill a little bit, so I'm doing pedal assist level 2 right now. And I'm getting about 141 for my wattage use. Now the key to get more range, I learned this from Bolton Bikes, Bolton E-Bikes. If you watch them on YouTube, Kyle says the best way to get more range is pedal for a while and then coast, pedal and then coast, pedal then coast. He's actually right, because as you coast, you're not using any wattage. So your battery's not even being used at all, but you're still moving forward from the momentum of the initial pedaling, right? Right now, I haven't been pedaling this entire block. So you can see there's quite a bit of forward momentum, and that's because this bike is so heavy. So when you get it going, it kind of keeps going. All right, my clock says to reset the camera, so I'm gonna do that right now. All right, I'm back. Now, you know, whenever I reset the camera, I have to reset the digital audio recorder that's behind my back. Now, the reason I go through all this headache, as you know, is to get a little bit better audio. And the audio is being recorded off of my lavalier microphone that's clipped to my helmet. That microphone has a circular windscreen on it. That cuts down essentially most of the wind noise. It's actually been the most effective way of getting rid of wind noise as I found so far. It's actually pretty good. And then there's a wire connected to that, of course. That goes behind me and behind my back, and that goes to a transformer. The transformer needs a microphone cable, so it's an XLR connector, and that connects to the digital audio recorder, which feeds a 48 volt phantom powering to power up that transformer to power up the microphone. Okay, so every time I shut off the camera, I have to shut off that recorder and turn that back on too. It's not that the recorder can't keep going, it's because I synchronize the audio from that recorder to the camera. So the best way to do that is just turn off the recorder at the same time when I turn off the camera and then start it back on. And then in the editing software that I use, which is Final Cut Pro on the Apple system, there's a synchronize button there that synchronizes the audio to the audio that it hears from the built-in microphone on the camera. Now, the built-in microphone on the camera has a dead cat filter that we bought from China, and that is our backup. So if that digital audio recorder dies, we always have the camera's audio to use. But of course, that is not as good as the microphone. It tends to be a little more, let's say, a little more muffled. So the clarity is better on the lavalier microphone. It's not as good on the built-in camera. But again, better to have a backup than to have no audio if that separate audio recorder were to shut down. And on top of that, the audio from the digital audio recorder is clearer, but it does take effort to deal with. All right, so here I throttled through just to get out of the intersection, and I'm back to pedaling, still on pedal assist level 1. So I am getting used to riding on the streets, knowing what I need to do. There's a car waiting for me to get past there. So let's throttle through so they don't have to wait so long. And again, I usually wave thank you for their efforts of waiting for me. You know, if all bike riders were to show that kind of courtesy, I think drivers would be more happy to have bike riders on the road with them. I do have my headlights on and my tail light on, but I don't have it blinking. I'm thinking I should probably turn it on so that it's blinking. So let me pull over for a second here. Okay. All right, so what I did is I reached over to the back. If you push the button on the tail light, it makes the tail light blink rather than have a solid red light. I think it's actually safer. You know, the visibility is kind of critical when you're riding a bike, and today is so overcast and cloudy that it's hard for people to see you. This is why cars have their headlights on when it's raining, right? Same thing here. All right, we're going up a hill, so I'll move myself to pedal assist level 2 just to be able to help me get over the hill a little bit. I'm gonna move it to 3 because it's getting harder. Even at 3, I'm at 348, 366 watts of power. Now, if I'm moving this back down to 1, drops it back down to 70 watts of power. Had I used the throttle, if you hit it hard, that thing jumps about 700 watts, which it just did because I needed to make this left turn. I think this is why these guys don't use the throttle, because typically you don't know where that throttle is going to go, and then so when you turn it, you usually turn it full blast. When that happens, or even if you're doing 3/4 of the way, it'll hit the 750. So you're eating up a lot of power just for that short burst. Sometimes you have to do it, but if you can avoid it, I think it would actually save a lot of power from your battery. All right, where are we here? This is Rand Road we're crossing. And we got green, that's good. All right, we have to throttle up to get over that. I was trying to ride it with assist level 1, and we were going uphill on top of it. There's cars waiting for you. You don't really want to take too long. So there's times you just have no choice. I do feel, when I go from 1 to 2, I do feel the additional assist from just moving that pedal assist. Gives you a little more boost. And it only takes 141 watts. So better to do that than the throttle if you can. My only fear about doing this is, does it wear out the switch? Does it wear out the controller, jumping back and forth? But then again, if you're using a throttle, are you really wearing it out too? That way, I think you are. All right, all these guys are running. Bike riders are riding with them, probably to make sure that they're safe. These are probably high school kids or junior high kids. They look like junior high kids. Yeah, it gives us something to watch. Watch the kids running. Well, these kids are suffering from the running, and these guys are on bikes. Hi. Alright, so we passed the pack. It was fun watching them for a while though, but ultimately they are slower than us. Alright, so we're heading towards Palatine Road again. But again, we take the side version of Palatine Road. We don't take the 45 mile an hour version. We take the 30 mile an hour version. All right. And we're good, so we're going. There's very few cars on this side version of the road. It's a divided highway. So I'm dropping back down to pedal assist level 1. I was on 2 while I was passing the kids. Typically on streets, I try to go a little faster, but I kept thinking about it. Let's say I do 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour down this road to try to compete with the cars. You can't compete with the cars. Those guys are going faster than you. And I don't know whether they really notice the difference that you're going faster to try to keep up with them. So really, does it pay off to go fast or just to stay with the same speed you're doing? Now, if you just want to get off the road faster, then of course, go fast and get off of the road. But if you don't really care, I think you could just stay at the same 12 miles an hour or so that you're going. Right now we're doing like 12.5 miles an hour. Of course, on this side road, it doesn't matter, nobody's here anyways, but if there was cars going past me, would they notice any difference if I was doing 12 miles or whether I was doing 20? I don't think they would. And they don't really care. They're passing you anyways. What difference does it make to them, right? I think these are the things that I learn as I'm riding the bike, that, you know, you think you need to do certain things, but you really don't have to. I don't think it really matters that much. Now up ahead, we're going to miss their light because we're too far behind. But we've got to turn left at that light. The problem is, if I am the first in line to be there when it turns red, that thing's not going to trigger with my bike. I actually need a car to be there to trigger that light for us. So I'm slowing down a little bit. I need to get into that left lane, but I'm hoping a car comes over and takes over that left lane. So far, there's no car, which means I could be sitting there for a while and that thing may never turn. So I'm just taking my time to get up there. I know that light takes a while. Oh well, we got no choice. Well, here comes a car. We're gonna let that car go and take that front lead because we need him to trigger it. There's another car, we're gonna let that car do it too. Alright. That's good. That guy's gonna be turning left. These are the things I've learned, is that your bike is not gonna trigger the lights. The street has a sensor, and it's the metal from the car that triggers it. So it knows that there's a car there wanting to turn left, so it triggers the left turn signal. The bike doesn't have enough metal to do it. So Kyle from Bolton EBike says, lay your bike further down so there's more metal that kind of contacts towards the road. I've tried that. I've never really had any real success doing that. Now, as we turn left here, I will give a hand signal just to let everyone know that I'm turning left, but the fact that the guy in the front is going to turn left, I think they're going to know people in this lane more than likely will either go left or go straight through into the faster part of the lane at the 45 mile an hour section. All right, here we go. So again, I will throttle up. I will hand signal so that they know I am turning left. Then we execute the left. There we go. All right, just in time because the timer is going off. I know I have 1 minute left before the timer times out at 16 minutes. And we're almost at the trail. So I'll take us up to the trail. We'll call this part 1 of the video. And then I'll do a part 2, which will take us through the trail again. So yeah, I appreciate you guys following along. If you like what you see, hit that like button. If you like it really good, hit the subscribe button so you know when new videos from me come out. The subscribing is important because it helps the channel. And that gives me the ability to do more. Anyways, I appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys next time.